season and be the best rookie quarterback?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes, and I like the move that the Dolphins have made, Brian Flores and the Dolphins have made mid-season, despite the fact that they were pretty good with Fitzpatrick, but they were like a normal, mediocre team. And I think that if you're always trying to be normal, you can never find out how amazing you can be. And I think that Tua gives them an opportunity to potentially go above normal in this season, in the seasons in the future. So this was a good move, and I think by the end of the year, we look at this in part because of his talent, but in part because of who they surrounded him with. I think we look at this season and we say Tua had the best rookie season as a quarterback.
If he does, they may very well wind up winning that division. That is by no means out of the question. Next, Dominique, you were a defensive back. Would DK Metcalf have caught you like he caught Budda Baker on that erstwhile pick six Sunday night?
Hell no. So, like, Greedy, there's one thing. I have a ton of respect for DK Metcalf, and I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I was some Hall of Fame cornerback that could have shut down DK Metcalf. But what I could do is run. And what DK Metcalf is not going to do is catch me from behind. That's just not something that, I was the guy who had to go catch the people who are running. So I'm not going to say that I'm a better corner or I could lock him down, but ain't no chance in hell. Like, I would retire. I would perform harikari after the game if somebody went and walked me down. Like that's all I can do is run. That's absurd, Greeny. How dare you even ask me that question?
RC, is he getting mocked? Is Budda Baker getting mocked by his teammates after getting caught by DK Metcalf like that?
Hey, heck yeah. Now, first off, he would have caught me also, but I agree with Dom. When your job is to be fast, you cannot let that happen, bro. And for that dude to walk him down and it looked like Debo chasing Smokey, you can't let it go down like that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine for Budda Baker. Budda Baker's a great player, and he is not necessarily known for his speed, so it's okay for him. But for me, I'm out of the league the next day. If I do something that's not fast, I need to find a new job. So I wouldn't let that happen.
Or at least
livelihood's riding on that.
Next week, it's all go balls.
It's done.
It's
I'm gone. I'm gone. Like my parents' mortgage is riding on that. My kids' education is riding on that. My future is riding on that. Everything is riding on me not getting caught in that moment. So Michael Greenberg, there's no chance in hell that I'm getting caught from behind.
He would have caught me by the 30. I mean, the first 30, not the second 30. All right, one more. Neek, I'm told I don't have a question for you here. You have a question for me.
Oh, yeah. No, we had answered a question a few weeks ago, and I've been counting down the days until the Chiefs play the Jets. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do the Jets, what's more likely to happen this weekend? The Jets win or aliens land in the studio? What do you think? You got to pick one. It's a serious question. Hard hitting. Don't dodge them. Pointed questions, Mike Greenberg.
There is an infinitely better chance that aliens land in the studio. That could happen. I have no evidence that can't happen. Have you watched the Jets? All right.
They played well last week. They're in it.
They played well last week. They had 4 yards in the second half of offense. How is that playing well last week?
Their defense played well against a good quarterback and a good offense. They were in the game. How about that?
You're just trying to get back at me because of what Northwestern did to Maryland on Saturday night. That's the only reason you're doing that. Okay.
We're a journalism school at Maryland. We're not a football school. We're a journalism school.
Yeah, we may know a thing or two about that too at Northwestern, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other day. Okay, let's move off this fight to a whole other thing. The NFL power rankings are out. ESPN put them out, and a new team at the top, as the lone undefeated, the Steelers are now at number 1. The entire top 5 actually dominated by teams with quarterbacks who are playing absolutely outstanding football. But speaking of outstanding, the only power rankings that matter to us on this show are those that RC gives us every week. So, Mr. Clark, the floor is yours.
And I'm going to start this by saying this. Once upon a time, Lil Wayne said, "Don't ask me what's in my cup, because it's my cup." So I'm telling you right now, don't come at me about my power rankings. They are my power rankings. And we're starting at number 5 with the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, they got it rolling again. You know why? Because the Wisconsin route wizard, Devontae Adams, he went absolutely nuts on the man-to-man coverage of the Houston Texans. And we finally saw Matt LaFleur get back to what he was doing. Pre-snap motion, creative play calling. And Aaron Rodgers had protection. He was doing the things that he needed to do. And the footballs were on point like we hadn't seen in 2 weeks from this team. So I love what they were doing. They got a rush on the quarterback. They were better. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Ravens. And I think the Ravens are moving along. The Ravens are playing well defensively. They turn the football over. But the reason I have them at number 4 is because that rush game isn't the same. Lamar Jackson isn't the same. But you know what they can do against the Pittsburgh Steelers? They can prove this week that they need to be ranked higher. Nobody wants to see Lamar. Nobody wants to let him get loose. But he hasn't been getting loose this year. But this defense have kept him in game. They turned the ball over. They've done everything they've needed to do to this point. Now show me this weekend that you belong. And at number 3, even though they're undefeated, and I know everybody in Pittsburgh is going to get mad, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They had a chance. They were sitting at number 1 at halftime. At halftime, I said, oh my goodness, on Wednesday, I will finally get to put the Pittsburgh Steelers atop of Ryan Clark's power rankings. And then it was like, no. 3 turnovers. You let the Tennessee Titans get back in the game. If they didn't have Steven Gostkowski, they might be in overtime. And we just can't have that from my number 1 team. And so right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't there, but you have a chance to prove to me this week that you can be. At number 2, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And people are going to say, but Ryan, they lost to the Raiders. I don't give a dang. They got Patrick Mahomes. Now they got Le'Veon Bell. This offense could do whatever it wants, when it wants. Patrick Mahomes just takes off weeks sometimes because they blow out people anyway. And this defense is getting turnover after turnover. The last 2 weeks, Dirty Dan Sorensen has went absolutely crazy. Tyrann Mathieu catching tips. They're scoring in so many different ways, even on the kickoff. So to me, this team is number 2. And this is why I told y'all, don't ask me about what's in my cup because it's my cup. Because at number 1, it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Don't care that they lost to the Saints. I don't care that it was ugly against the Packers. When this team plays at its top level, when they are at their best, they're better than everyone else in the NFL. They're better than everyone else that's playing football. And that's flag football. That's football that they call football in Europe. That's actually soccer. When they're on point, they're on point. And Antonio Brown is coming soon. You can't even stop Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, whoever they want at running back. And Devin White is a star. May end up being in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation by the end of the season. So when David Pollack comes on here, and when Dan comes on, and when Dom comes on, and they're like, oh no, they can't be number 1. I don't care, because they don't give y'all own power rankings anyway. It's ESPN, and then it's me. And that's what matters.
I got to tell you, I endorse the list completely. I agree. My big problem with you is having the Steelers too low. But Pollack, let's go to you. David, who do you think is the best team in football right now?
I like it. He said, we get a ranking, you don't. I don't get my top 5 like RC, but it's interesting, RC. You don't want to give love to the Steelers because they didn't finish well. What kind of team did they play last week? Were they some scrubs, or was that another undefeated team that they played last week? Because I believe the Titans were
it was
really
an undefeated
good
team,
and rolling,
Dave.
and everybody wanted to talk about them. So they came out the gates good. And by the way, now when you get Johnson back at wide receiver, you got all those targets for Ben. Like, I think I would disagree. I would put the Pittsburgh Steelers higher. That would be my beef. But, you know, he played for the Steelers, and he still doesn't like them. So Steelers fans, y'all hear that? He hates y'all.
I'm with it. I have the Steelers 1 and the Bucks 2. Dominique.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. He's being hard on them because he loves them, I guess. But I don't want to know what's in Lil Wayne's cup because it's probably codeine or some sort of drug that gets you high enough to put the Steelers at number 3. You need to put the Steelers at number 1 and stop drinking from the same cups as Wheezy. His art is fantastic, but his choices on beverages, I don't know. And he would have put the Packers at number 1. He's a Packers guy, I believe.
Dan Graziano.
I'm surprised he didn't put the Packers at number 1 because he thinks that that they beat the Bucs. They didn't. Bucs beat the Packers. The other Bucs loss was actually to the Bears. To the Bears. Did you watch the Bears the other night?
Yeah, my bad.
That's a
My fault.
bad
That's on me.
loss. I didn't see them in your top 5.
Someone said it yesterday. It might have been you, Graziano. We're going to look back at the end of this season and say, how did that game happen? Like, that's going to be the one game we look back on and say, wait a minute, the Bears beat the Bucs in week 3? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Either that or
count to
Jets
4.
over Chiefs.
Well, okay. Or the alien landing that takes place in our Seaport studios sometime between now and next week. All right, everybody sit tight. We're just getting rolling. We got a lot more to do. Things continue to spiral in Dallas. Is the answer in the locker room right now? Unique advice next on Get Up, ESPN.